Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 23 of the Unknown Comics Podcast. Brandon, Chris, and Tanner with you. Hope everyone is doing okay. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Doing all right.
All right. Well, let's get to it. First and foremost, guess what we did today?
We did some stuff.
We hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, I was like, wait, what do we do today?
We hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. And, hey, Tanner, you want to do me a favor?
Yo.
We're like cutting Chris off in the camera.
That's you.
That's actually me. Huh?
I was thinking,
Hold on.
I was going to say something about this pre-show, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think he's got it set, so I'm not going to say anything. Yeah.
There we go. We can see Chris now.
Yeah, it's because I'm wide. Like a truck.
There we go. Much better. Now we can see all of Chris.
Yeah.
So we hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube today. So for those that have been following us on YouTube, when we hit 1,500 subscribers, we were going to give something away. And it happens to be this Bad Mamba Jamba right here, this Venom number 3. It's a 1 in 25? Mm-hmm. Or, 1 in 25. 1 in 25, 9/8, yellow slab signed by Kate Ann Stegman. And so we will be drawing for that. So we're going to be drawing from all the subscribers, past and present, and up until we draw. We're going to let anybody who subscribes between now and when we draw.
Probably early next week we'll draw.
Early next week. So we'll go ahead and draw for that, and a lucky person is going to win this.
I figured it was going to move. Like, people were going to subscribe. I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly.
It happened quick. After we posted that video.
Yeah, I may or may not have some more prizes to give away as we grow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. We've got a lot of
I don't know why it's like any kind of trade secret. We've got more stuff to give away. So definitely. And here's the thing is we're not just conning you into subscribers just for the number, right?
Yep.
There's good content you need to be watching on our YouTube channel. There's a lot of great informational stuff between our FOC videos, our Tanner's Top Books, all the theory videos, just all this podcast. All that stuff is on our YouTube channel. You're gonna want to check it out regardless, even if you're just subscribing to win a book. We think you'll stay.
Yep.
So
I hope you do.
We hope you stay.
We want you to.
We're pretty confident. We're pretty confident it's good enough content. You'll stay.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for everyone that subscribed to help us get to that. That's a big number for us. That moves us into another echelon of YouTubedom.
Yep.
Moving on to content. The Bad Batch this week. Episode 4 of the Bad Batch. Is that 4?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, episode 4 of the Bad Batch. What happened?
It's starting to pick up a little bit.
This week was good. What did you think about it? All over.
Like I said, I thought it was better than the past few. There's just more to the story.
Yeah. You're starting to kind of get an idea of new characters, right? And
right.
We're seeing people from The Mandalorian come into this series now with Finnick. So that's a big deal. Having her come in here and seeing that crossover between the two series.
Yeah.
I think that's, of course, the big deal for the week, and the fact that she's after the girl and not them.
Not
them. So that means somewhere. Shut up, Siri. That means that somebody knows about this clone girl outside of.
Well, we don't know. Who's
could be the Camino ones?
Yeah, I guess it could be them trying to get her back.
Yeah,
that could be true.
They've made it pretty clear she is more important than the others.
Yeah,
because like I said before, I think she's force sensitive.
Yeah, and the fact that they were open enough with her to let her know that all the other guys had chips in their brains.
Yeah,
they're all going to be controlled. So she knows all this stuff, even though she's one of the clones. So I think that's pretty interesting. So she seems pretty valuable to somebody. If it's not them, it maybe somebody else. I'm not sure. So
yep, we didn't see any mass executions
this time.
We did see a bunch of people get shot though and die.
Yeah,
so it's pretty violent for a cartoon.
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't a filler episode, which was nice because I was afraid I don't want to watch this show if it's all going to be filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it's going to be multiple seasons, like all the other cartoons that they've had, they've got to get quite a few characters in there, and then that way they can branch off into having more stories. So.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm just like I'm wanting to see where it goes and how they're going to bridge things.
It's not that same excitement as the Marvel shows have been.
No, or even the Mandalorian for that matter. There's just something about the Mandalorian that just hooked me a little better, and it's that same serialized show where it's the side quest, right? That we joked about, and it's a lot of that. I don't know.
I think if we see some more crossover for some of the Rebel characters, which we should see probably at some point.
Yes.
Just kind of to see, because a lot of those timelines are still.
A lot of the Rebels characters aren't born yet. Sabine and Ezra wouldn't be alive yet. So.
Yeah, but you could see some of the other ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kind of their older history, or even some of the people that they're going to have in the live action stuff.
Yeah.
That's about to be coming around. So we're just going to see what they do. I mean, it'd be good to, I mean, they have plenty of people they can throw in there. So
I just want to see more Tarkin. He's the best part. So, Bad Batch, for kids, not for kids.
I mean, I still don't think it's a kids show. I think it's a Star Wars show geared to anybody that watches Star Wars already.
Right. I would let my kids watch it though.
I mean, my two boys watch it, but they watch all the Star Wars stuff.
Okay. Now, what about MODOK?
No, not a chance.
Not a kid show.
So MODOK,
The first couple of minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Instantly goes not for kids.
so MODOK premiered on Hulu, which I thought, because you talked about this earlier, Tanner, you did not realize like what the DNA of the show was Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
And then like I was surprised that your first clue wasn't that it's not on Disney Plus.
That it's adult mature.
Yeah, that it was on Hulu instead of.
I thought that was odd, but I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
So yes, MODOK premiered with Patton Oswalt voicing the titular character.
It's interesting to see that because he's also been a SHIELD agent.
Yeah, he's been a SHIELD agent. He hasn't made it into Star Wars yet.
Yeah.
Trying to think if he did any voiceovers for like Clone Wars or anything. I can't think that he did.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does have that distinct voice. I mean, you know who it is when he's when he's as MODOK. So
yeah, and it's funny. I haven't really gotten into it yet. I started watching the first episode, and I was watching it in bed, and that's just never a good place for me to watch anything for the first time because there's a good chance that I'm just going to straight up fall asleep.
That's how
you're gonna get nice and cozy.
Yeah, I'm all propped up on pillows. I'm going to sleep at some point.
I usually watch things like that at my lunch break because it's not too long.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been watching. I've been watching that kind of on my lunch breaks, and I've watched I think 3 episodes.
I've watched 2.
2, yeah.
So it was a full season dump, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's been good so far.
It wasn't just like laugh out loud funny, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. Have you seen the one where they break back in with he's got that weird thing that he created that's like a shapeshifter?
The super adaptoid.
Yeah.
The last one I saw is where they go back in time to the Third Eye Blind concert.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. I need to finish getting caught up on it.
So yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of build up, right? Just
Yeah.
like anything, but it is good. But the shape-shifting thing, he uses it as a ladder, and he like it goes from him like breaking out his plan of what's going to happen, and he's like, and you're going to be a ladder, and then like he's like, why am I going to be a ladder? And then the next scene, he's like, this is BS. And he's like, you can fly. He's like, oh, it was like I needed to give myself a break.
From his big floating chair.
Yeah.
That is funny. So yeah, no, I think it was a clever way to bring the MODOK character to life, right? I mean, he's one of those Marvel villains. He's like Mole Man.
How are you going to take him seriously?
You're never going to
anyway?
take him seriously anymore. Yeah. And when he was created, he was a serious character, but anymore, it's like you're never going to make Deadpool a serious character again.
Yeah.
The character's just gone too far that way.
And the way they kind of portrayed MODOK in the movie, with the Civil War, is when they brought him in.
You're talking about Arnim Zola.
Yes, correct. Which is what they basically used for MODOK in the MCU. He referred to himself as MODOK when he was in the computers. Yes.
I don't.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny because he's like a Nazi, and then in the TV show, the kids Jewish bar mitzvah. I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
two different things.
Yeah, MODOK was always
He's
what's his bucket?
Yeah, he's AIM. Yeah.
Oh crap! Now I will say that they actually did use MODOK as a serious villain in the new Avengers game. He is the main villain.
Well,
inside
that's
of that.
easier to do in a game.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier to do in an animated setting.
Oh yeah.
You know, I would not expect to see a
A dude in a floating
actual
chair.
MODOK in the MCU.
Yeah. So, crap. What is his actual name? I can't remember. He's a what? He's just a scientist dude. That just mad scientist. But yeah.
Are we talking about AIM? Or something
Yeah, I'm
else?
trying to think of MODOK's actual legit
Oh, his
name.
like, alter ego.
Yeah, it's escaping me at this point. It's some white dude name I can't remember. Like
Bill,
no,
Brian.
I have to look it up now. It's bugging me. MODOK.
No, but it's been good. I've liked it. I didn't, like I said,
George Tarleton.
George Charlton.
I didn't think I would like the animation. I thought that was going to bother me the most, but it
Yeah.
actually hasn't bothered me.
Did you
really
watch
at all.
Robot Chicken?
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces
Yeah.
of it, you know. And
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I've watched Robot Chicken
it's
enough.
still
Yeah.
animated, even though it looks like claymation. You can tell it's definitely still animated. I mean,
Yeah.
they did not go back and do actual claymation. So
It is. It's like a hybrid of stop motion and CG effects.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that they. I would think it's. I still think it's all completely CG. There's no stop or any of that.
The
It's just the way that they've done the animation.
the original Robot Chicken was stop
Yeah,
motion
right.
with action
Yeah.
figures and stuff like that. They could have evolved that over time, kind of like South Park did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
South Park was actually like construction paper cut out animation, and then they just
they were like, "We have money now. Why
This
are we
takes
doing
too much
They
time.
realized, like, we can just animate it this way now.
Yeah.
You do it a certain way. So, all right, and so our big topic for this evening. Now, a lot of people may not really care in the comic world. No, don't say that. I don't need that. Is the announcement that Games Workshop has launching another streaming service? Not another for them.
Another app.
There's another app that is now another streaming service in the nebulous cloud of streaming services called Warhammer Plus.
Yeah. If you thought Todd McFarlane held on to his own things too tightly,
Yeah.
Warhammer Games Workshop in general has got them beat.
Oh, by far. I think it's a bad call. I think they should.
I know it's a bad
They
call.
should have partnered with the streaming service.
I mean, from what Tanner's saying, I mean he's checking. I mean, things they're getting slammed.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all the gaming community has been this past week.
Yeah. Unless it is some ridiculously cheap price point, which I can't imagine it will be.
Well, but even then, this was the perfect opportunity to get non-Warhammer players into Warhammer,
Yeah.
and you just ruined that by
Yeah.
putting it behind a paywall.
Yeah, I mean, work with somebody that already has billions of subscribers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, worldwide. And Prime, I thought it was going to go on Prime. I was like betting that was going to be who it was going to be. My second would have maybe been Netflix, but I figured for sure it was probably going to go on Prime because they have a lot of science fiction stuff
See,
on Prime that would kind of fit there.
My guess was going to be Hulu because they partnered with Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Marvel has a license for the comic books. I mean, I could see that too.
And that's the other thing is they're partnering with all these other companies to do with other things. You know, they
Yeah.
did the Marvel comics. They're partnering with Wizards for their Magic for their card game.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Commander
They've been
decks.
partnering with Todd McFarlane's toy company.
yeah.
And, Bandai for toys.
So why did you decide to do your own thing here?
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, I guess somebody's saying that this is it's going to start out as animations, but it's supposed to have all this other stuff.
But here's the thing: the only people that are going to subscribe to it are already dyed-in-the-wool Warhammer
Yeah.
fans. You're not going to acquire new fans.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing is like, why would you not go to somebody that already has 1 million subscribers? Get traction for your content.
Yeah.
If you really want live action movies and things like that, then people got to know about you.
Yep.
Well, and like this is the time to do that.
Yeah.
Look at what the MCU has done for comic books. Look at what Stranger Things has done for D&D.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to put content out there where people can see it and think, "Oh, this is actually cool"?
Yeah. As far as content itself goes,
I think they have like 8 shows that are all from what they say, they're all supposed to drop in July. These first bit of shows.
So that means if they've been working on these.
Well, so they've been teasing Warhammer animation for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
And, they wouldn't give us any information, and finally they do, and everything they've teased us about is all going to launch at once. So if I'm going to pay a subscription to an app, and you're going to give me all the content you've been working on, is it going to be another 4 years before you give me anything new?
Right. And why am I going to stay subscribed to you?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing there, too, right? And then when I was telling Tanner, I was like, how do we even know any of this stuff's finished?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us little teasers of all the different things that are coming on. It was just a voiceover. It sounded like somebody was reading a novel.
Well, and so recently they acquired Astartes, which is a YouTube channel. And, that was a big deal because Astartes was really popular.
Yeah.
But it was 5,
Fan made, right?
it was fan made.
Yep.
It was 5 episodes, and they varied from 2 minutes to about 7 minutes an episode. So if they keep with this format, because they've done this and they've kind of bought up several YouTube creators now. Mm-hmm. And, I also don't want to subscribe to this thing and get a bunch of shorts either. I want a full, at least 20-minute long episode of something.
Yeah. And then it doesn't say whether they're going to be full season drops or if they're going to be
The first episodes.
weekly drops or monthly drops. It doesn't say any of that.
And it may not. They may drop the first episode of all these shows at once, and it may be a weird
You can
really
see the rest of the
trickle
six
effect, yeah.
years.
trickle. Yeah, for the that episode 2 of this show may come out 3 weeks after.
Yeah.
Episode 2 of the other show may come out a year after.
Which, we'll be finding out more on the 23rd of June when they're doing their next
But
animation.
it is hitting, Sigmar. It's hitting 40K.
Yeah.
It's hitting the different realms of story arc.
It would have been perfect had it not been behind its own app.
Yeah, because
Agreed.
you would have gone out and subscribed to whoever if you didn't already for these content, and then I think also the fact that if let's say Warhammer Plus is because they just changed the way their community works. The community login it encompasses Games Workshop, it encompasses Forge World. So maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe the fact that they're going to be Warhammer Plus gets you the Sigmar app and the 40K app and the streaming service. If you had all that stuff combined in one, you might be thinking about paying for that.
I would even be happy if it just got me
And some Black Library content.
Black Library content. Even if it's just like how Audible you get a
kind of like the
each month.
DC Universe subscription was.
Yeah, so
I'd be okay with that. There's been teases that there's supposed to be exclusive models that you can get by being a Warhammer Plus member, but that could be a catch-22 there. Also, if it's just like one of the event models that you can only get at an event, well, those are actually pretty easy to come by if you really look for them. If you're going to do an exclusive model, you better not be able to get it anywhere else.
And who's to say? So let's speculate this. Say Warhammer Plus is this suite of perks inside of the Games Workshop
Amazon's
world.
Prime of Warhammer.
Exactly. It is this digital content. It could be Black Library content. It could be it covers your Warhammer Plus app subscription part of it. Stuff like that, discounts on the digital codexes, stuff like that. And I can see that working, right? As a Warhammer fan. Who's not to say that then they can take this digital content, this animation, and then option it to Netflix or Prime or whatever later. It happens first on Warhammer Plus for the diehard fans that want it for this content. Now we're moving it over to this platform to bring in others that don't know anything about it.
I think I would be okay with that in the long run of things.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest issue is I want new players.
Yeah.
I want new people interested in the hobby.
Yeah. For a community growing aspect, it didn't make a lot of sense, the announcement of Warhammer Plus.
No.
And the fact that there's no other thing except for saying these videos are going to be on there.
Right.
They haven't said anything about apps.
Yeah, because we're just wildly speculating that it could be the suite of other stuff, and there's nothing to that.
Because right now, I think the Warhammer 40K app is like $3 or $4 US, and then the Sigmar app's like $2, I think.
It would help with their apps because to me I don't see any value in their apps. I can get the same thing from Battlescribe for free.
Yeah.
I just don't get the pretty pictures with it.
Right.
Yeah, well, no, and the apps are in a way are nice because all the rules are there.
Yes.
Very quickly and accessible.
It integrates all the codexes and army books and stuff like that too.
Yes.
If you buy them.
If you bought the
if you bought the physical one, you just put the code in there.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, it's just, hopefully you're buying them and not pirating them.
Who would do that?
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't play, so I just go to look. I'm just browsing.
Yeah. So I mean, but there are benefits to them. But as far as army building goes, I think Battlescribe is at this point better than what they have in the app.
Yeah.
So, well.
So so they did a little sizzle reel. Mike says he knows nothing about the Warhammer stuff, but weekly drop would be the best way to do it to keep people engaged, and I agree.
Yeah.
And so for those of you out there that don't know anything about the Warhammer stuff, I would still recommend to check it out.
Yeah.
Because
They have decades of content, which is great
'cause,
content.
I mean, the Black Library stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I do have faith that the content will be good. It's just, am I going to be able to talk a non-Warhammer fan into paying the subscription fee? to
Exactly.
access?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even the first 5 minutes of Angels of Death that they showed, I mean, it gave you no background.
You just kind of had to know.
You had to know what's going on there with the Blood Angel, and he's just blowing up Tyranids and the Gene Steel. I mean, if you didn't know, you would have no idea what was happening in the first 5 minutes.
We only got the first 5 minutes.
Correct.
There's still plenty of time in an episode to
Start
flesh
explaining
that
things
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a sizzle reel of a bunch of these different shows, including Angels of Death. It was kind of hard to keep track, but some are cell shaded animated, some are 3D animated.
The big ones is Angels of Death, which is 3D animated. It's unique. It's like, since it's color splash.
Yeah.
Only red, it looks like, is in color.
Well, it's about Blood Angels.
Yeah.
So, and then the other big show is Hammer and Bolter, and it is a every episode is different kind of thing. They don't have anything to do with each other.
Like the Love and Robots thing on Netflix.
It's an anthology
Yes,
series.
it's an anthology, and each
Yeah.
episode is done by a different animator.
Speaking of which, if you haven't watched Love and Robots, you
I've
should.
watched the first season. I need to watch the second one. That
Don't
just
watch it
dropped.
with the kids around.
Yes, there's none of them.
Yeah.
Some of the actors that show up in there will surprise you.
Yeah, no, that was a good show. Not all of them were winners. I think the best episode of Love and Robots was the farmers that get in the mech suits to fight the aliens or demons or whatever. No, they were demons.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so.
Is this the new season?
No, this is the first season.
I'll have to go back and watch it. It's been forever.
Yeah, no, like I want a series in that world of just these podunk rural farmers that get in like these hodgepodge mech suits to fight demons that open up in their farmland.
Sounds fantastic.
Kind of a different thing, but did you see the new Chris Pratt trailer for his new Prime movie?
No.
So The War of Tomorrow, and basically aliens have invaded Earth in the future, so they're coming back and drafting people from the past to go fight for the world in the future, because that's, you may run out of people in that timeline, but we have all of the timeline.
You're
to
going to the past to conscript people. That's hilarious.
So it looks pretty interesting. So
Huh.
It's going to be on Prime. So
Amazon's they're making a push.
Yeah,
pretty hard.
Well, you saw they just bought MGM.
Yeah. Amazon did purchase.
So Bond and all that kind of stuff's going over there.
Yeah.
So. Which is weird because like Disney used to have MGM Studios as a park. It's called Hollywood Studios now, but
yeah,
one of their parks in Disney World used to be called MGM.
Yeah,
So it's kind of weird.
All those companies just bounced around and licensed stuff. I mean,
MGM
there's still
dead for a long time.
There's still Marvel stuff in Universal Studios.
Yeah. There's still
hasn't-
Spider-Man rides
yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, they're probably still making money off of it. So why would they?
Yeah.
Now you got to take that Spider-Man ride out. We hate making money.
Which I mean, that's not to say they can't rebrand it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's been there for so long.
I remember going to Six Flags over Texas for the first time in like 10 years, and like just the normal rides all had like DC characters on it and stuff now. And you're like, no, this is just the Texas Cliffhanger. What the crap?
Yeah. You got the Batman, or you got the Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze.
like everything had to have a freaking DC character attached to it if it was a thrill ride. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I'll watch the Warhammer Plus stuff. I don't play many of the Warhammer games anymore, but I've always enjoyed the lore about it.
Yeah.
Right? That's always been the interesting part to me. But yeah, I don't that if that thing is more than $5 a month, if that's all it is,
Yeah.
then no.
I don't even know if it's worth $5 a month.
I'd have to see what their content.
You know what I mean? Because you
Drip
think
is.
I am honestly going to pay it no matter what it is.
I mean, maybe they can justify it though, because like Netflix is what $18 a month now
But
by itself. You
Is
know?
it? I don't even look at my. I need to look at my statement. I don't even watch Netflix. I'm still paying for that. That's
But still, that's
it's like a
so
gym
much
membership.
more content.
Yeah, and then Disney Plus with the bundle is like $15 a month. They get you ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney.
Oh yeah, I get all the value out
You
of
know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're talking about thousands and thousands of different kinds of content.
And now that my NHL out of market stuff is moving to ESPN Plus, even more value for me.
Yeah.
But bam.
Yep. So I mean, it's just for if it's $5 a month and you're only getting 8 shows worth of content, that's just
Mike does bring up a point. Universal still has the amusement park rights for Marvel in the eastern United States. That's why there's an Avengers campus at Disneyland, but not at Disney World.
yeah. But I think they're working on building something in Disney World right now.
They may. It probably depends too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is if they can probably steer it more towards MCU type stuff.
Yeah.
They can possibly get. I think like the Guardians Tower.
Yeah.
Of Terror, where they turn the Tower of Terror into the Guardians.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's probably how they can get away with it without, the big comic book characters or whatever. But yeah. All right. What else? What else happened this week?
We also had the Eternals trailer.
We did have the Eternals trailer. I still don't know what the hell's going on in
It
the
looks
Eternals.
cool. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about the
A
Eternals.
lot of people weren't happy with that comment that Rob Stark made because he's Rob Stark.
About being the new Captain America.
Oh yeah.
and leading the
Avengers.
yeah.
It's like, I
Yeah.
can do it. Shut up, Rob Stark. You couldn't even lead your family.
Yeah.
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 So, and then they only showed Jon Snow like one time,
Yeah.
like a little bitty bit.
Which he's supposed to be Black Knight, right?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
Black Knight. Yeah.
Who's Rob Stark supposed to be?
I don't even know. I don't know
their
any of
names.
them. The only person I know is the Black Knight. So I have no idea who the rest
I
of them
didn't.
are.
I didn't even think Black Knight was actually an Eternal.
I don't think he is an Eternal.
No.
I think he's just.
He's associated
I
with.
think
associated
he's.
with it.
I think he's some kind of a peon or something like that.
he's a
He's an
knight.
errand boy.
So I think it's similar to Captain Britain. Whoever wields the sword, I think, is the Black Knight.
yeah. And he may have maybe during a certain time period, which is why he's a knight. Maybe he was gifted with something at some point. So
Yeah.
I don't really know much about any of them at all.
Other than they were a Kirby.
And then the fact
They're
that
big Kirby
we're gonna find out like where the crap were they when Thanos was destroying half the universe.
Or when aliens were invading New York,
Yeah.
all this stuff. Like, where were you when all this?
I thought it kind of contradicted itself too when they were like, "We've never interfered, but we've helped them evolve." I'm like,
Right.
wait, what?
Yeah, no, you've
gave
chosen
them,
when
you
to
gave them a
interfere.
knife. You put it in your trailer.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I think it's still going to be good, right? Because I trust Marvel at this point, but I don't know. It's just I'm intrigued. I'm
Yeah.
more intrigued in that than I am in Shang-Chi.
I'm definitely all about Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think she's going to be awesome. Shang-Chi is going to be awesome. Don't get me wrong.
I think it's gonna be awesome
But
in the
as
way
far
that
as the-
Ant-Man was awesome. Right? It didn't
Yeah.
really. When it came out, it was just a fun other movie.
Yeah, I just don't see how it's going to push the MCU.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
it's supposed to introduce all the rings in the Mandalorian.
the real,
It's the real Mandarin.
the
Mandarin.
real one, the real one.
The-
Yeah,
the
because his
Ten
dad is the real one in the movie. One of those, like,
Yeah, which that's very much an MCU thing.
yeah,
But it's an interesting way to properly introduce the Mandarin instead of.
yeah. And I
they
hope they hit on that. I hope they bring Ben in just to kind of
Slidery.
just so they can kind of show like this is the real one, or do something with his character. And I guess there was a short at some point that you could only get on a certain DVD box set that had like I think some of those things are on Disney Plus now. I'm not sure.
They may be extra tied into the movie.
They
extra
kind of
features.
told you more about the real Mandarin and that he's not him and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, they've set the Mandarin up since Iron Man 1.
yeah.
You saw the Ten Rings organization from
Yeah.
the get go. So like,
Whereas
this is a lot of build up.
Yeah.
Are we gonna?
and will he be a bigger character than just a one movie guy since he has had MCU ties the whole time?
Right.
So we were kind of talking about this. What's gonna they're gonna have to explain where the Eternals were, but they're also gonna have to explain where the mutants were when they get to that.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, we already know the FF's coming for sure. So
Yeah.
that for sure will. I feel like they're the easiest ones to say
The Fantastic Four, yeah.
where they were, because they
They just say, "Well, we were in this other dimension the whole time."
yeah. So I mean, I think
We were in the
that's
negative
the
zone.
easiest tie-in, right? And I think their first movie will probably be they either show them off in one movie, and like they show up out of somewhere, and their first movie is going and explaining how we got there, kind of like Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
Or they just show up and they just explain what happened in the movie in like flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be
I
interesting.
mean, they've done
to
it
see
twice. They did that Captain America and Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I think they do that same thing.
Yeah.
I think we would have a whole story of going back.
I think the mutants would be. I mean, I think they should just do a reverse. Just make Wanda create all the mutants or something.
So that is kind of so in the Ultimate Universe, the X gene gets unlocked, right, and then all of a sudden mutants appear. But in the main world, that's kind of what they did with the Inhumans, right? That was the Terrigenesis, right? So you already have there's already a lot of similarities between Inhumans and mutants, right?
Yeah.
And they've technically already. Now, granted, it's been in S.H.I.E.L.D. and the ABC series that we've seen
Yeah.
Inhumans.
But what's weird about that is they did that when MCU was still tied to S.H.I.E.L.D., but then they were just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. But it's canon. So, like, when are you officially saying that the Inhumans aren't there?
I think Feige's came out and said it's not now.
Yeah, which is just...
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, they,
Well, here was the thing. He wasn't in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. And
Avi Arad was.
well, that, and it was a Whedon thing, too.
Yeah.
well, so Marvel's always been like, let's do the Inhumans when we don't want to push the X-Men, and then the X-Men get popular, and they just
Well, the X-Men got popular because Disney said, hey, we're buying Fox. And
Well, but
that
even
was kind of under the table at that time, but everybody kind of started speculating because they decided to stop using the Inhumans, and they started making comic books about X-Men again.
Yeah.
even in the past before the movie universe, that was a thing where okay, well, we'll push the X-Men to the side and push Inhumans.
Yeah,
and
but
see
they had
if
been
we can
doing
make
that
work,
for
but-
more than a decade. They were pushing Fantastic Four to the side and X-Men because they wanted people to not watch their movies. They didn't want them to go after that content. They wanted the people to go after the Avengers content, Spider-Man content,
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that they stopped making the Fantastic Four. Like, literally took them out of comic books
Let's say
altogether.
that. They never really did that for Spider-Man. They did. the same
Spider-Man,
way.
they couldn't do that with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He is him and Batman month in, month out, number one selling comic books. You can't, even if they wanted to, they couldn't get rid of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even if Sony had the rights, whatever, but they couldn't do that to Spider-Man.
I think they probably. I don't know. The mutant situation is a weird one. Like, I think the most logical thing is to bring mutants in the way you said. Then all of a sudden, the X gene just happens, and then all of a sudden these people just have powers.
Or somehow they come back with FF,
Yeah,
a world collision.
or some dimensional thing. That's
Yeah.
probably the two ways that they have to do it. Because you can't have an entire race of people that have just been a massive race of people that have just been hiding. These Eternals, there's only a few of them,
Yeah,
so they could hide out.
and they're on
right?
a different planet.
Yeah,
So-
they're on Titan.
Yeah.
So mutants, you just can't say, "Oh yeah, we were around, but we didn't want to."
Yeah.
You know.
So pretty sure Wolverine could have done some damage.
Yeah.
Cyclops. I mean, all these guys. I mean, they could have been there doing
Well,
some
and
damage.
so another way they could do it is they could make another prequel like Captain America movie or something, and have Logan and Steve meet back in World War II or something. They could do stuff like that to say, yeah, they've actually have been here.
We just haven't been showcasing him in all of our movies.
Yeah, but again, you do that, and if you're going to properly bring them in the traditional sense with Xavier and his dream and everything, for them just to be there and not do anything
And I think if
is against that, right?
the
They
overall
didn't want to help the humans. They said, "Screw you guys."
they went Magneto's way. I think overall, you look at the storyline of what they've done with Marvel. Is it exactly what the comics are? No, but I think they've definitely alluded to the history of the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
So I think if they're going to bring the X-Men in there, they don't just bring them in as fresh 2025. They still have to have that history.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think they have to bring two worlds together. They have to in some way.
You can't make Magneto a Holocaust survivor for much longer.
Well, no, but
He's getting too
But there's plenty of other events that have happened that you
Right.
can
Yeah,
have
they're gonna have
history of.
they're gonna have to make him like some other survivor of some other genocide type thing, right? Whether he's
Cambodian now.
Yugoslavian, or they've talked about like an African Magneto, that he had been raised warlords and stuff like that.
The only thing that would some of this stuff would be kind of weird, right? Because we still are seeing the fact that Scarlet Witch is a mutant.
Well, and
Pietro is a mutant now, right? In the MCU, basically, we're seeing that those two are not Inhumans, right?
Yeah.
And if that is the case, and they do bring Magneto in, is he dad? Is he not dad? You know what I mean?
I was about to say they could just make him a part of like Sokovia, or make up another nation. If you have a made up nation, you could have a made up genocide that he could be a survivor.
And that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they definitely could tap into it, because Sokovia is very much an MCU thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Sokovia, Wakanda, all these.
Well, Wakanda was a comics. Like Sokovia was made for the movies.
Yeah, but I'm just saying as far as just made up nations go.
Yeah.
They've got plenty to get in there and get after. So
They just don't make up big cities like Metropolis or Gotham that are both New York City, but they didn't want to call it that.
I don't know. Gotham seems more like Chicago to me.
It is the darker side of New York.
Yeah.
That basically
one's New York in the day and one used New York in the night.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's what it is.
And then the movies decide they're across the river from each other.
Because Gotham is a nickname for New York City.
Yeah.
So
it isn't. Yeah.
But no, Well, and the other thing is, when we bring in Kamala Khan, does she stay in Inhuman? Right?
Oh, yeah.
She's coming in her television series. Mike says, I'm hoping that with the X-Men, they won't try to act like mutants have always been around, but then establish Krakoa.
I think Krakoa is too new.
Man, they're leading so hard into it. I wouldn't put it past them to go ahead and try to be lockstep with the comics.
Krakoa's taken the last 60 years of mutant history and putting it all into one thing. So that's a lot to take in.
So what Mike's saying is all of a sudden they've just been on this island the whole time,
or in the dimension of Krakoa.
Dun,
Right?
dun, dun.
Maybe they come out of that. They've been inside of the
Other
tree, or whatever. Yeah,
They've been in limbo.
yeah. And from what I understand, we saw the New Mutants movie, and a lot of people are saying that is part of the MCU.
Yeah.
So but there's no ties to anything in that movie. It doesn't. It literally says nothing about anything. So what do we got here?
J Manning 19. I know this fool. It's my brother-in-law.
Just tuned in. What are we talking about?
We're talking about
nerd
stuff. So right now we're talking about how. Well, we started with the Eternals and just bringing new races in.
Yeah, MCU. How do you do it?
How do you bringing mutants in? How do we properly bring in humans in?
And maybe the Eternals was a way of them going, okay, so how do we do this? Who can we test with?
Yeah.
We use the Inhumans, so we can't test with them.
Yeah.
We've screwed that pooch. So we have to find somebody. And maybe this is their way of doing that, which it's a pretty expensive thing to test with. But
yeah, doing a full feature-length movie. The other thing is there was, looking at Marvel's entire back catalog of peoples that you can bring in to a universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like when they first announced the Guardians of the Galaxy, you were like, what the hell are they thinking?
Yeah.
Nobody ever read this, right? But it ended up being one of their biggest. So,
because you had Thor, right? But Thor brought in the outside of Earth content, right? But
Thor's always been like A level.
But he was still on Earth the whole time.
Yeah.
So the Guardians is what really expanded our Marvel universe, so we can see everything. So, but again, it was like a simple tease of who can we use to open this up to make it easier to bring in Thanos, to make it easier to bring in all these other people that are going to be going over the world.
Okay. With Eternals in the MCU, do you think any of them got snapped?
That's a good way to explain why they weren't here. They got snapped.
I mean,
Well, they wouldn't have been at the Battle of Wakanda. They could have been at the Battle of Wakanda.
Well,
but they didn't. They didn't get involved.
If they are a race of their own,
that half of them went away.
then there was still half of them here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
Somebody was still there to protect them, But I don't know. Maybe somehow because they're of the celestial stuff that they're not affected by that.
Well, but Thanos got snapped away,
Yeah.
and he's the same
He's
origin.
the same kind of thing. Yeah.
He's a deviant, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Questions. Yeah.
Are there beings that were outside of the snap? Yeah, that's Mike just said exactly what we did. Just was any race exempt from that? And
Watchers. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. How many are there?
right, yeah. Supposedly there's a watcher for every universe,
Yeah.
right? So
So if there's only one for the universe, does it start getting-
Uatu is the main comic universe watcher.
Yeah.
if there's only one MCU watcher, does he just get like bisected?
But we've seen more. We've seen more.
I've got one eye on you. He becomes Sam Jackson.
We saw more than one at the post credits of Guardians 2.
Yeah. Yeah. When Stan Lee
There was like
talking
four.
to
There
him.
was like four of them in a little huddle with Stan Lee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's a. I mean, I guess we're gonna find out in November. I think is Eternals.
yeah. So what is our release? So was
Loki's next.
Loki's next week, right?
June 9th.
So a week
2
from
weeks.
June 9th.
2 weeks. Okay. And it's gonna be Wednesday releases.
Wednesday
right?
release. Yeah, June 9th.
Okay.
And then that's 6 or 7 episodes.
Let's see.
Then
Black Widow.
Black Widow's July. Then Shang-Chi, I think, is August. Eternals is November, and Spider-Man is December.
Wow.
We also got Hawkeye in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye. Well, you got multiple. You got Hawkeye. You've got Miss Marvel,
Okay.
and then you also have
see.
the What If series, which is animated series based in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
So here's phase 4. So 2021, Black Widow July 9th, Shang-Chi September 3rd, Eternals November 5th, Spider-Man December 17th. We don't have anything until Doctor Strange in March of 22.
But we still have all the TV shows. Like I said, so you have,
You're right.
You have Hawkeye. You have Miss Marvel.
They have films listed differently than.
trying to think of the other one that's coming out this year.
We've got
Is Armor Wars this year?
I don't remember.
Loki is June 9th. What If is August.
Yeah.
Ms. Marvel is just late 2021.
So it's Hawkeye, right?
So is Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Then the 2022 series start Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret
Moon
Invasion.
Knight. And Moon Knight's filming right now.
And there is actually no dates whatsoever for Ironheart, Armor Wars, the Wakanda series.
Wakanda series is still in basic production. The other two,
it's seeing as how it's untitled. Yeah,
the other two I think are probably going to start shooting in the next 6 months. So
yeah.
I would think we'd have good street dates for them or good movie dates for them. Probably pretty close to the end of the year.
Oh, and then we have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special in late 2022. Which,
Yeah.
come on now.
But
Now,
he's supposed to film that at the same time.
so Dave Bautista would be in it,
Yeah,
possibly still.
It's supposed to be filmed at all the exact same time.
Gotcha.
So
That's hilarious. It's set to take place between the events of Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians Volume 3.
yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder's next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm assuming they're cameoing in that.
Yes,
they have-
they all went really early to that film shoot.
Okay.
Because I think they're still working on Thor, but they all went really early to that.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of give us the handoff of him going off on his own because he left with them, so they kind of have to all be there.
something.
Yeah, something has to make sense since Guardians 3 is going to be so late in the game.
It's literally going to be the Guardians pull up on a planet, Thor goes to pee, and
They are all out.
and-
Chris Pratt's like, "It's my
and
ship."
Peter just throws the door up and just takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, or all the Guardians movies have kind of been in their own timeline. So Guardians 3 may have Thor in it the whole movie.
That's true.
You know
They
what
don't
I
have to go sequentially.
Yeah, because the
Chronologically
Thor
through.
movies, the Guardians movies have all been on their own little thing. So
Yeah. Mike says they should recast T'Challa.
I agree. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think that to have that symbol just gone is not okay.
Yeah.
I understand that you're honoring that actor,
Right.
but that character is I think important.
Yes, because here's the thing:
He's a symbol.
Like it or not, if he's gone from the MCU, then he's eventually going to be gone from the comics because the comics will follow suit.
Yeah.
The comics will eventually recalibrate to wherever the MCU is steering everything.
And they actually, there's a big petition actually going around of people, specifically African American black people, trying to get him recast because they want that symbol for their sons, for their daughters, for whoever. They want that symbol to be shown in there because he's a big character of strength for them.
Could they do a son of Black Panther, another male, so that there is that strong,
possible,
black male character?
When was that supposed to happen?
Right, exactly. But I'm just saying, in their plans, they could push that agenda forward.
And if they go on with this whole multiverse thing, just who's to say there's not another T'Challa from another Earth that ends up here?
Yeah.
And he looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Wait, no,
that's
that's Craven now.
Craven.
Yeah, and he's got his own solo movie, which I think is interesting because the Sony universe is doing like all these bad guy solo movies.
How funny would that be if there's
Morbius is not?
He's an
Morbius
anti-hero.
He kind of rides the line.
He's a more serious Deadpool.
Which have they given Morbius a date yet?
He's had multiple release dates, but I don't think he has a hard one now. But it was supposed to be this year, and Venom 2 we've seen comes out this year.
Yeah.
But Morbius is still being shown trailer-wise, just says coming soon every time it's on there.
Yeah.
So I would expect it's probably still going to be this year.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be if they somehow did an X-Men Spider-Man crossover and both Quicksilvers were in it?
Okay. And they're doing the point thing.
Yeah. They have to do that in the Spider-Man movie. They have to.
Jay Manning just says they did burn all the heart-shaped herb at the end of Black Panther 1, so technically you can't have another Black Panther unless they find
That's true.
other heart-shaped herb from a different dimension.
Because
multiverse or something.
that means even she can't become Black Panther.
Exactly. Sure, he could.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Good point.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of everybody's expectation right now is that, which she has been in the comic books. She's been the Black Panther as well.
I mean, they could do a whole like John Walker kind of situation where he takes up the symbol in the suit, but not the superpower.
That's true.
Yeah,
and the tech just
until he
does
take the power and becomes.
Here's the thing though. Wakandan tech is so advanced. You could probably make a Black Panther suit that does everything that a person with the heart-shaped herb could do.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see him giving the Falcon his new suit.
Yeah,
you know. Now we don't know if that's got the extra goodies that Black Panther's suit of having the whole thing made out of vibranium.
Yeah,
we know the wings are.
Yeah,
but Black Panther's entire suit was made of that.
Yeah,
so be kind of messed up if they didn't give him a whole suit made of it, because then he'd be like pretty impervious to everything except for in this area.
I had a thought the other day. Just go with me on this one. This has to do with throwing Captain America's shield. It's made out of vibranium, and because of how it resonates or whatever, it bounces off of crap and has a lot of energy behind it. When you go to catch that thing, have you ever like hit something and it just vibrate so hard that it's hard to hold? Mm-hmm. Like that would be all the time with Captain America's shield.
See, what the weird thing about the shield is, right, it bounces off things, but it's also supposed to absorb things to where you can't feel them.
Yeah. So technically it should hit a tree and just fall to the ground.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of what the... It's a mystical object.
In a way, they did kind of address that in Falcon Winter Soldier because when Steve threw it, Bucky had to catch it with his robot arm. But when John threw it, he could catch it with his human arm because of the force behind it. I mean, so in a roundabout way, they kind of nod to that.
Yeah. It should just fall to the ground, though.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It should frisbee over there and then be like done.
Yep. Well, I just absorbed all that energy. Donk. Yeah.
And I know it's supposed to be super, super light too, right? I mean, it's just like you're throwing a frisbee, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not supposed to be heavy at all. So,
but it can also cut a dude's head off if you jam it at them multiple times.
What did he say here? How dare you?
Let's see here.
It's not supposed to make sense. Yeah, you're right. It's apparently.
Yeah. That's you gotta have to suspend disbelief, right? It's freaking superhero movie.
Just watch the movie and be happy.
Just
quit asking
it's Captain
questions.
America's shield. It's Thor's hammer. They don't They don't do what they're supposed to.
Yep.
They just are. Spider-Man's webs are just a physical anomaly.
It doesn't matter if he's in a canyon and swinging. Mm-hmm. He found something.
Well, they addressed that. What was it?
Can you imagine?
In Homecoming, when he's in like the suburban neighborhood,
Yeah.
he had to run because there was nothing for him.
I was about to say, can you imagine him,
Flip
Spider-Man,
onto.
living in Amarillo, Texas?
Oh yeah, he's
they
done.
kind of had this with Kane living in Houston. He ran out of things to swing from when he was in Houston, or even when he was in Vegas. He was like, there's a few places, but for the most part, it's a desert.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of it, Endgame, you see Spider coming out swinging, and somebody because in the image, you see half of Ant-Man. He's a giant man at the time. And somebody was like, what is he swinging from? And somebody kind of drew a picture over it with Ant-Man's hand out there. He's kind of
All he's doing is he's just hanging. He's just swinging from
He's like,
hand
I
to
got
hand.
you, bro.
At one time, he was just holding on to Mjolnir as it was flying through the air.
Yeah, it's like, I may not be able to hold it and for good, but I can, fly with it for a minute.
No, knowing Stark, there's probably like drones in Spider-Man's suit that are just swing drones.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll go up there and give you something to hold on to.
Yeah. All right. Was that it? I think that's it.
Yeah, we kind of already hit the contest because it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll announce the winner later.
Yeah. So for those that have already subscribed to our YouTube channel, congratulations, you're in the drawing. For those that haven't subscribed,
You have
do
to
it
tell
now.
early next week.
You have to tell early next week to subscribe to our YouTube channel, get in the drawing for this lovely piece of plastic and paper.
It's worth around $1,000.
So Venom number 398 Yellow Slab.
If this guy ever gets put in a movie, it'll be worth a lot more than $1,000. I'll tell you that much.
Who, Venom?
Nope, no.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because from what I understand, Sony is kind of seeing Null as their Thanos threat for the Sony universe.
Sure.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, so it could be very, very possible that we do see Null in a movie at some point over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Even though he's no longer a threat in the comic universe.
Well, I mean, neither is Thanos, and then he is, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It goes back and forth.
I didn't finish King of Black. Is he defeated? Or
He's
is,
done.
He's done.
But he was also done in issue 6, and then
Yeah.
he came back. It took him a long time to get here though, because he had to kind of cross the universe.
Yeah. So what did you think of the Venom 2
The trailer.
trailer?
After seeing it, because we went and watched Army of the Dead
Yeah.
in theaters, and I got to see the Venom trailer on the big screen,
Yeah.
and that made it better. I still wish there was a little bit more of actual just screen time for Carnage
Yeah.
in the trailer. But I'm excited about it. I think it's cool to see Woody Harrelson doing that character.
That was a pretty. When I saw that
it's pretty
casting, I was
spot on.
like, yeah, I get it.
He could do it.
Did you know his dad in real life was a hitman?
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Yep, he was from Midland,
Yeah,
and and supposedly he got arrested when he was young, when Woody was young,
yeah.
and put in jail, and
Well, thankfully he didn't go on doing the family business.
right now he just decided to smoke weed.
Yeah.
So shut up, Mike. Did you know his dad in real life had a symbiote like me?
Yeah, for a second he was like, "Did you know his dad in real life was Cletus Cassidy?" The whole character's based on him.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for joining us for episode 23 of the Unknown Comics Podcast.
Forgot something.
What did we forget?
So tomorrow we're having our live pre-show pre-order live on Facebook.
Yes.
It'll be today if you're listening.
Yeah,
to it.
Friday the 28th. We're doing our pre-order live for Stegman Cates Kirkham signing, and then of course the actual physical signing, because the dates have changed, are going to be the 16th and 17th of June
For all three. Yeah.
for all three, and then we'll also have somebody else here. It's not just those three, but my brain's telling me
that's
dead.
not official yet.
No, it is. It is
Ben
official.
Percy.
Yeah, Ben Percy. I was like, went blank on the name.
Yeah.
The plane tickets purchased. Ben will also be here for one of those days. So Ben Percy, he's been writing Wolverine and some other stuff.
X-Force.
And X-Force, yeah. So he'll be here the 16th and 17th. Well, 17th only.
One of those days.
Yeah, he'll fly in. I think the 16th be available.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be. You'll see. He'll just we'll have some stuff for him to sign.
You should join us on this. You should join us tomorrow night to
Yep.
get your products ordered.
Yeah.
The night of the 28th.
Yeah.
To get your products ordered. And then join us on June 16th and 17th for all the special guests and shenanigans and auctions and weird stuff Darren will say to me.
Yeah.
On a live sale.
Yeah.
That's
usual.
guaranteed.
Get
Yeah.
ready for your right shoulder or whatever side he's standing on to be rubbed.
I'll do stupid things for Little Debbie snack cakes.
I have to get some more oatmeal cream pies. I think it's almost out.
You
haven't gotten one
I haven't ate an oatmeal cream pie
since you said that.
since I did that. Just 'cause
Somebody's eating them because they're going like crazy up there.
it just doesn't
We buy more of those than any other snack.
it just doesn't feel right anymore. Like
feels
Took all the
dirty.
joy out
Feels
of it.
dirty.
I wanted it so bad. So all right.
Our inappropriateness ends now. Sorry.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next week on the Unknown Comics Podcast.
Later.
Bye.